Welcome back to the Language Arts Gallery. Today we're going to continue with day 3 of writing a cause and effect essay for young learners. And today we're going to talk about language for cause and effect. Specifically, we're going to talk about adverbial subordinate clauses of reason and adverbial subordinate clauses of result. So let's go ahead and get started. Please remember before we begin to click subscribe so you get all the videos in this genre and all of my academic writing videos. So let's start by reviewing what's a cause and what's an effect. Okay, so in this picture, this lady is hungry. She's going, "Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm thinking of a hamburger." So that is the cause. She's hungry, and the effect is she gets a hamburger. So the cause is the reason why something happens, and the effect is what happens. In our last lesson, we talked about developing the body paragraphs of our cause and effect essay. We wrote 3 body paragraphs, and each body paragraph focused on one effect of having no rules in society. Remember, we said that cause and effect essays can focus on either causes or effects. For this particular genre, this particular essay that we're writing, we're focusing on the effects of something. We've been talking about rules and laws in society in my class, so my students are going to write a cause and effect essay where they're talking about what would be some of the effects on society if we decided to get rid of all the rules and laws that we have. The first sentence in each of the body paragraphs is going to highlight exactly what that effect is. Since we've got 3 body paragraphs, each body paragraph has one first sentence that says what that effect is, and that is called the topic sentence because it tells us the topic of the paragraph. In this lesson, we're going to focus on using language within those body paragraphs to express the cause and effect relationship. Remember, that first sentence is going to tell us the topic of the paragraph, what one effect of having no rules is, and the remaining sentences are supporting details. They're going to give us more information about that topic. So let's brainstorm some cause and effect words. I'm sure the simplest, most common one that you know is because. There are many cause and effect words, and we're going to go over a few here. Because, since, so, as a result, due to, and leads to. You might also use words like therefore, which is another cause and effect word. So let's go ahead and get some sentence level practice here. I want you to choose which of these words correctly completes each sentence. So if you want, you can pause your video now and work through this on your own. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and complete each one for us. It is raining. Blank. I will take an umbrella. It is raining because I will take an umbrella, or so I will take an umbrella. Okay, this first one, the answer is so. Blank the rain. Sports day will be canceled. Since the rain or due to? I'm highlighting the cause here. Due to. Due to the rain, sports day will be canceled. He is studying blank. He wants to get 100%. He's studying so he wants to get 100% or because? Because. The reason why he's studying is because he wants to get 100%. Eating candy as a result, cavities or leads to cavities? Leads to. Eating candy is the cause, cavities is the result. Blank of his hard work, he received a perfect score. As a result of his hard work. So his hard work was the cause, and his perfect score was the effect. Blank, you are late. You have to stay after class. Since you are late or so you are late. Since. Since you are late, you have to stay after class. You are late is the cause. Staying after class is the effect. So now let's take a look at this model essay, this mentor text here. And we're going to look for instances where we can add cause and effect language. So I'm not going to read this together because we're going to go over each body paragraph individually. So we're going to focus on those 3 paragraphs. So let's take a look at this first one. Without rules, driving wouldn't be safe. So right there, the author's done a great job presenting the topic sentence. There would be no speed limits to prevent cars from driving too fast and causing an accident. Without driver licenses, unsafe drivers could get behind the wheel. Finally, there would be no standards for building cars that ensure they're safe on the road. Now let's look at how we can rewrite this paragraph using cause and effect language. Without rules, driving wouldn't be safe. Since there would be no speed limits, people could drive as fast as they want. As a result, there would be a lot of accidents. Unsafe drivers would be able to get behind the wheel because there would be no driver license laws. Finally, there would be no standards for building cars, so we couldn't ensure they're safe. Here, the author made this paragraph a lot stronger by including 4 words or phrases for cause and effect. Let's take a look at our next body paragraph. In a world without laws, our food might not be safe to eat. Without laws, farmers could use any chemicals they want to grow crops, even if it was dangerous for humans. When we eat in restaurants, there would be no laws about cooking and serving our food to keep us from getting sick. Also, when we buy food in the supermarket, we wouldn't know what's in the food because the information on the label might not be truthful. Let's look at how this is stronger by adding cause and effect language. In a world without laws, our food might not be safe to eat. Since there are no laws, farmers could use any chemicals they want to grow crops, even if it was dangerous for humans. When we eat in restaurants, there'd be no laws about cooking and serving our food, so we might get sick. Also, when we buy food in the supermarket, we wouldn't know what's in the food because the information on the label might not be truthful. And now finally, let's go to this last paragraph. Without laws, we wouldn't be safe from people who might try to hurt us. It would no longer be illegal to hit or physically hurt other people. There wouldn't be any laws that keep people from constantly bothering us. We need these laws to keep us physically and emotionally healthy. So here we've got an improved version with cause and effect language. Without laws, we wouldn't be safe from people who might try to hurt us. It would no longer be illegal to hit others. As a result, people could physically hurt others. Since there also wouldn't be any laws, people could constantly bother us. These laws lead to everyone being physically and emotionally healthy and happy. Now, students have an opportunity to go back to their seats and revise the cause and effect essays that they drafted in our last lesson. And we've got a template here to help them to draft that essay. They've got the introduction and conclusion, and they've got 3 body paragraphs where they're going to want to focus on using cause and effect words and phrases. And then finally, students are going to have their opportunity to share some of those sentences that include cause and effect language with the class. All right, great job. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you in our next lesson at the Language Arts Gallery.